Welcome back to Politics Today. Just before we get into our next conversation, let's serve you with your political roundup.
The Electoral Institute in Nigeria is asking the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to draw lessons from the conduct of the 2023 general elections to better its performances in the upcoming governorship elections in Kogi, Imo, and Bayelsa states. They need to study the various post-election reports and to improve performances in areas such as logistics and technology deployment and result management form the core of the discussions at the Professor Abaka Momo's Memorial Lecture in Abuja. Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State says he's confident that his achievements in the last 3.5 years as governor come the November 11 governorship election in Imo State. Governor Uzodinma disclosed this at the second edition of the Olu Zone Development Forum Summit 2023 held at Nkwere local government area of the state.
You have seen what I've been able to do in less than 3 years. So if you allow me 8 years, you cannot imagine what I will do.
Governor Yaya Bello of Kogi State has assured the people that the November 11 governorship election in the state will be conducted under a peaceful atmosphere. The governor, who spoke through his deputy governor, Mr. Edward Onoja, stated this in Olamaboro local government area of the state while receiving the campaigns from the People's Democratic Party, led by a former federal lawmaker, Senator Ataya Aidoko, into the ruling All Progressives Congress. In Abia State, the progressive Abia youths in the state are expressing concern over the nation's debt profile as it affects its foreign reserve. At a news conference in Umuahia, the state capital, the leader of the group urged the government to prioritize sectors that have great potential to utilize and improve the economy. Such as manufacturing and funding of businesses for young people.
Now, the shouts of marginalization by the people of southern Kaduna and Kaduna states are getting louder. The truth is, there is a twist to it, and that's what we'll try to find out tonight in Politics Today. I'm joined by Honorable Kennedy Musa, who's a former secretary of the defunct ANPP in Kaduna State and a founder and member of the APC in the state. He is from southern Kaduna. Welcome to Politics Today.
Thank you.
Honorable, we've had conversations in the public space with regards to your position, you, the people of southern Kaduna, and as it concerns the ministerial appointments, perhaps federal appointments generally, but specifically the people of southern Kaduna are asking that somebody from that area be appointed minister now that the Senate has withheld its confirmation of former Governor Nasir El-Rufai. Why?
That request is very, very germane. That request, I don't know how to put it, but you see, even if that request is granted, I dare say that it wouldn't have created the balance that is required. Let me just inform you and viewers that as we speak, as at the last 1 week, the present administration that just took off over 2 months ago has made 87 appointments, political appointments in the state. Only 18 are said to be from southern Kaduna. And actually not southern Kaduna. There are 3, 4, 5 people that are even from outside the state. The cry of marginalization is justified. There is oppression. It is beyond marginalization. It's oppression. There seems to be a desire by, quote and unquote, the powers that be, to muzzle out a certain people from a certain part of the state. This state was created at North Central State in 1967. There was a 1963 population census, followed up by a 73, followed up by 1991, another one 2016. There are disputes There is the politics of population itself. Then there is the creation of local governments that started from that 67. The creation of electoral wards, federal constituencies. The times we had almost a balance in constituency, state and federal. In 1990, 91, 92, the Babangida era, SDP, NRC parties, there was almost equal representation. As soon as that era passed, some people seized the opportunity of the military intervention to change the equation. What you now have is, in Kaduna South Senatorial District, that is of 8 local governments, and Southern Kaduna that is of 12 local governments, there's a difference. There's a senatorial district, there are 3 in every state, but there's Southern Kaduna that is 1/2 of the state. And I tell you, by the 2016 population census and 2006 population census, Southern Kaduna had a population of about 3.9 million people, out of the state's 6.7 as at that count. More than half of the state. But when it comes to representation, even at the state level, ditto the federal level, you have only Zango and Katab local government that has 2 state representatives at the state assembly. Every other one has 1. Federal constituency, out of the 8 senatorial district local governments, you have only 5 representatives. We have a total of 16 from Kaduna State. About 10, 11 are in the northern part of the state. So it is not just marginalization.
And this is not a function of electoral outcomes, is it?
No.
With regard to the elective positions.
No.
I know there are 2 different things here, appointive positions and elective positions.
See, elections, the limitations of wards and constituencies is a function of INEC. And I know that none has ever been conducted according to population. It's supposed to have been done every 10 years. You see, it has not been done since this experiment started in 1999. And if you go by electoral outcomes, for instance, Southern Kaduna has been the mainstay of the People's Democratic Party for all of these years. But up till now, nothing has changed in terms of wards or polling units. In fact, you have witnessed a decrease.
Why do you think that this is happening? I recall that one of your complaints was that this started during the time of the immediate past governor, Nasir El-Rufai.
No, it didn't start during his time.
So
it was exacerbated.
It was exacerbated during his time.
Yes.
Why do you think this has festered?
It boils down to the character of the individual. Before Governor Nasir El-Rufai, there were 2, 3 governors.
So the question is more about why do you believe that the people of Kaduna, Southern Kaduna, are being marginalized?
It's because they are being marginalized. It's not a belief.
No, why is it happening?
The statistics show.
Why is it happening?
Why is it happening? Like I said, I believe there is, would I call it a hidden agenda? Some wicked individuals take opportunity of being in government to seek to cause discontent, to cause, just oppress people.
For political reasons?
Just maybe political reasons,
because
in addition to spiritual reasons.
So you think, so is this marginalization against the Christians in Southern Kaduna or the entire people of Southern Kaduna?
The entire people of Southern Kaduna and the Christians in the state. This is very, very unfortunate because you will find Christians in the northern part of the state, indigenous Christians. They are not settlers. They are Hausa people who are also being marginalized.
Well, interestingly, I think the Muslim Youth Foundation of Southern Kaduna released a statement where they said that they are the ones being marginalized. So the question now comes to the Muslims in Southern Kaduna say they are marginalized. The Christians in Southern Kaduna say they are marginalized. You people are not working together. You're working at cross purposes. Instead of working together, to achieve this freedom that you want?
Unfortunately,
or inclusion that you want?
Unfortunately, what democracy does is allow freedom of expression. So you would find that even in the quest for state creation, for instance, not just in Kaduna State, anywhere at all, when the people get a state, you find people who were not considered a minority before, or were bucked together as a minority in a large group, they'll suddenly find themselves either as minority or majority, as the case may be. Then those who find themselves on the other end will begin to cry for, against marginalization. So this is a situation in southern Kaduna. Generally, Christians, who are predominant in the southern part of the state, have been crying for marginalization for God knows how long. And we used to have the Southern Kaduna People's Union, SOKAPU, that is the umbrella body. It still is. But years down the line, a new an organization was put together that would cater for only the Muslims in Southern Kaduna, called SOKAMUDA. And then it is from that you find offshoots from SOKAMUDA, you find Muslim youth organizations and things like that. So when you hear of this, it's like anticipating there is probably going to be light at the end of the tunnel. Let's quickly shout so that we will be recognized as well. Because if you were to just focus on Southern Kaduna, some people who are together as Southern Kaduna as minority when you look at the entire state would now see themselves as a minority when you are focusing only on Southern Kaduna. So it keeps going down like that.
So there's some form of disunity for in Southern Kaduna.
There is disunity. Unfortunately, it is fueled by political leaders. That's why you hear the mention of Nasiru El-Rufai. Like I said, it didn't start in his time, but he is one person that was so bold to just say things, whether it is right or wrong, he didn't care. Chief Security Officer of the state would make allegations that would be rebuffed by the Chief of Police in the state. A governor would make statements that the police commissioner would rebuke, and say it's not true regarding security. So when you hear things like, these people don't vote us, these people don't deserve these appointments, that is unconstitutional. The Constitution says nobody should be profiled like that. There should not be such segregation against people on account of their tribe or religion.
How are you addressing this matter, or going about seeking redress with regards to the new person at the helm of affairs now, Uba Sani? He's an entirely different person, and he's been there for 3 months. How are you approaching this matter such that he can pay attention to it? Have you even made attempts to approach him with regards to this matter? And what
attempts? It's starting with some of us in the APC, because we are expected to be closer to him than other people in Southern Kaduna. We have been reaching out to some of our own people in the party hierarchy and some who are already in political offices. Some commissioners we have some special advisors from Southern Kaduna. We have the party officers from Southern Kaduna. So discussions have been ongoing. Now, when the Senate withheld its confirmation for the immediate past governor, again, members of the APC within Southern Kaduna have also made the attempt, using the special advisor, political, and other commissioners like I mentioned, to also reach out to the governor and to say, please, look at this as an opportunity. See this as an opportunity to create some semblance of balance, of carrying people along. It will interest you to know that the president, Asiwaju, when he appointed the chief of defense staff, a lot of people celebrated it. But a few days later, maybe in less than a week, we had people from the Islamic religion, Malams, going on social media and castigating the president And some were even trying to profile the general as if he did not deserve the appointment, or he was appointed to achieve a particular aim that was sinister. I mean, it's very surprising that a whole region that had suffered so much insecurity, so much attacks.
Well, let me ask you this question just as we close. Are you basically concerned about appointment or governance as well? And also, based on 3 months in office of Governor Obasani, do his actions suggest to you that he would be interested in governance, improving governance in southern Kaduna?
So far, I would answer that in 2 parts. We are not just interested in appointments. There's this thing about, I call the politics of appointments. It serves to just make people believe that you are being carried along, but that's not the truth. This thing can be hollow. You can be appointed and you will not be effective. You will not be able to help the people. Appointments generally ought to be representative of the entire place. That's why the Constitution put it there. The spirit of the Constitution is to ensure that every part is represented, whether it's in the executive or in the legislature. But when you find individuals who are chief executives of state making appointments to the exclusion of other parts, it begins to call to question their intentions. You begin to wonder whether they really want to carry people along. I just give you a statistic now. You can check to confirm. 87, you have 18 people. I hope the governor would not toe the line of the former governor, because the former governor, in the closing days, social media, what do you call it now, clip, leaked, when he was saying to the Islamic ulama that he decided to appoint a southern Kaduna person, a lady, but a Muslim, because the Christian aid-dominated areas were not voting APC. Now, that is against the spirit of both the APC constitution and the national constitution.
Very well then. Well, sadly, we're out of time. Honorable Kennedy Musa, I'd like to thank you very much for coming on Politics Today. And I believe that we'll talk about this a little more where we can get the other part of it, perhaps the side of the governor and the other part of Southern Kaduna, the Muslim community, to speak on this, to understand if you're both speaking from the same side of it.
Yeah, unfortunately, like I said, down the line, political leaders succeeded in dividing us.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
You know.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.